welcome to the back of my RV. Welcome to the Late Night Crafty Club, and Happy New Year. It's New Year's Eve, and I am doing a little New Year's Eve edition of the Late Night Crafty Club, which would normally be held on a Friday. But I decided to do something I normally have done in the past, which is to choose the New Year's Eve or New Year's Day to have a special show. So that is what I have done. So welcome, oh welcome, my friends. And I'm so happy to see your sweet little faces. Let me grab my little chat room here. So you notice that I just leapt in on you. Just how do you do? I don't even have my music. I was asked if I wanted music earlier, but I made the wrong choice. I made the wrong choice, but it's okay because we're doing lots of updating right now. So I wanted to come out with something fresh and new. And so it's okay. We will just kick off 2026 with fresh new stuff, and you guys can just play the little theme song in your head. That I don't want to get rid of, but I needed a fresh little video. So you will notice that there's some fresh advertising going on. Hint, hint, wink, wink going on because I have new things that are afoot, new things that are launching. It was quite a perfect storm today trying to get prepped for a live stream, prepped to do a seasonal turnover on the clubhouse, which that's kind of the first time doing that since its original overhaul. So now it's about freshening it up for the season, putting in, getting the seasonal content ready. And then the Crafty Girl Play Kit, which is a core of the membership content if you're an all access member. And so there's just a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that must be coordinated. And I am sick. On top of that, I am sick. So I don't know how long I'm going to last. So, but I'm hanging in there because all access members get the play kit as part of their membership. It's included in your regular fee that you pay. It's included. So if you are a club pass member, that's that entry, like that, the tier, the $5 tier, you can grab your kit from the shop. And if you're not a member at all, you can also grab a kit from the shop. They're available. And I'm going to show you what we got going because it's based on a whole new seasonal project. Every season, I want to kind of hone in or focus in on some kind of fun little project that I think is like appropriate for the season, appropriate for the seasonal story or the time of the year, which, I tend to make the story about the time of the year and what makes sense for all of us. So I think this will be the simplest, easiest thing I may have ever conceptualized as something that we could all do together. Because it's literally no thinking crafting. And also, it's something that for us Gen Xers will be incredibly familiar because it's the kind of crafting we did when we were teenagers. It's the only kind of crafting we knew about. I feel like the world of crafting wasn't really a thing. I mean, I just genuinely do not remember there being there was art supplies, like crayons and colored pencils and drawing pencils, things like that. But there was not what we have today. Not what we have today. So anyway, so it'll be super fun when we go through all that. But let's say hi to our friends in the chat room as we do. The first one here is Miss Bethany. Hello, hello, hello. And hello to Miss Lee. And hi, Patricia. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Miss Heather. Hi, Lorelei. Hello, Miss Paula. Hi, Robin. Hi, Claire. Claire, I believe you're across the pond. Your name looks different on here, unless you're a different Claire, but I don't think you are. But yes, there's been a little makeover YouTube gave everybody, so now I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. Hi, Miss Melanie McFarlane. Hello, Miss Betty Jo. also, I'm guessing, on that one. Hello, Miss Margie, my pen pal. Hello, Miss Pearl Ann. Hello, Miss Robin. Hello, Mrs. Spencer. So good to see you. Hi, Miss Hope. Hi, Miss Julie. Hi, Janice. Hello, Miss Lisa. There's Mr. Chris. Hello, hello. Hello, Miss. Let me see. Did I write down? I did not. Oh, Creative Mish, which is a cute name. Why do I know that name? I feel like I know that name because you have been here before, and I feel like, all right, just tell me what your name is. I'm trying to remember. Is it Amy? Is it? Sometimes I remember what your names are, and sometimes I cannot. Hello, Miss Susan. Hi, Miss Stephanie. Hi, Miss Deb. Hello, Miss Shelley K. Hello to Sharon. Hello to Miss Melinda. Happy New Year to you. Hi, Miss Deborah. Hi, Denise. Michelle, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, Michelle D. All right. You have been enshrined in my little book, my book of friends. And there's Miss Jackie D. Hello, hello. And hi, Miss Kimberly. Good to see you. Let's see. In your neck of the woods, it's already 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. You got time before it's turned over. So my East Coast friends, you guys have time before you have approached the midnight bell. It's me over the pond. Miss Claire, thank you very much for confirming that I was correct. I'm pretty sure you're the only Claire without an I. I think most of Claire's that I'm familiar with are the ones with the eyes. Yes, Jackie, that is a very good question. She says, why do we have numbers behind our handles? YouTube, I don't know, guys, what do you think? Was it about a month ago, maybe 2 months now, somewhere in the last 2 months? YouTube had some interesting kind of update and everybody's names got flippity-flopped. So a lot of you have numbers behind your names now you didn't used to have. Some of you have your names are different altogether from what you originally had. So it's been challenging for me because for so many of you, I have kind of nailed down your names for years. And now I'm like struggling to remember who is who. Some of it, it's okay. Some of it I can remember, some of it not so much. But you guys, this is keeping me young. It's keeping my little brain cells going. For sure. There you go. Kimberly says it's already 8 p.m. and I'm already turning into a pumpkin. I know I'm going to be sleeping through the new year. That happens to us as we get older, doesn't it? After a while, you're kind of like, is it that big of a deal to stay up? Is it that important to sit there and look at the clock at midnight? It kind of isn't after a while. You're kind of like, I'd rather go to sleep. There you go. Michelle says, I didn't even know who I was when YouTube changed our names. Julie says, for some reason, the last few lives, it's not letting me chat. Says I have to be a subscriber. It happens throughout the full live. Which you're chatting with me now, but are you, Julie, are you subscribed? Sometimes you can watch a channel and not be fully subscribed to somebody. And I won't be offended if you're not subscribed, because honestly, I almost feel like subscriptions don't even matter. Because even if you're subscribed to me, does not mean I'm going to pop up in your feed or anything. I honestly am not sure, honestly, what they even mean anymore. There you go. So Claire, the funny thing is about it's common to have an I. So correct, right? So you're unusual for having Claire without an I, and I'm Corey with an I. I said that statement so many times in my life that I actually use that as a email handle because I've said Corey with an I for so many years, so many years of my life. But the interesting thing is now I feel like social media kind of helped me see that there's many Corys now with an I, like that's become more of a trend. But for so long, I felt like the onlyest little Corey out there with an I. Julie, that's what I would say. You're like, to me, you're like my first subscriber on Instagram. So I'm like, how could you not be subscribed to the YouTube channel? But it's possible. And sometimes YouTube boots people off. Like, you think you're subscribed, and sometimes people lose their subscribers. So no big deal. But I do find that interesting that it's telling you that you can't chat. Interesting. It's doing that intermittently throughout. Weird. I don't know. How do you make YouTube happy? And you have to be careful. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, because as you know, I've been to YouTube jail. So I don't know how to make YouTube happy. They sent me to the clink. I was in there cracking rocks. We spent an entire camp in jail and had to host Camp Reset on an entirely different platform that summer because we displeased them. We displeased them something terrible. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about, a lot to chat about. And thank you very much, Miss Deborah. Cozy Readers Book Club. All right. So first things first, I must tell you, I am going to be a newsletter sender in 2026. Hear me now. I know I've said it before. I've said it before, but I've been really, really thinking about this. What do I need to do in order to make myself send emails? What do I have to do? What do I have to make it like? How do I have to trick myself into doing it? What do I have to make it like be less fancy? Make it less pretty, make it less with like less images? Like, what does it have to do? What do I have to do to make this more like mentally easy to send a message to you? Because I'm not even averaging like once a month at this point. So I have solved one issue. I came up with a monthly freebie to send to you for my main newsletter. I'm also changing the name of my main newsletter. So I have done that officially, but I have not sent it. So don't worry. I haven't sent it. I just want to let you know that if you are not subscribed to my newsletter, I would like you to do so now. Stop what you're doing and go sign up, because this weekend I am going to go send out my newsletter to everybody on my list, and I will be sending out the very first in a series of freebies that once a month. There is a little self-care journal page, and it's a back and front page, and it is very handy. It fits into your yearbook. If you choose to buy the Crafty Girl yearbook, you'll have this little bonus freebie that goes in here. Now mine shrunk down because it's a classic Happy Planner size. So it was printed on that same size paper. So that's why it does look a little small. So the Late Night Crafty Club also has its own little newsletter. And that is for me basically to send a reminder. I send it usually twice a month, right before I go live, just to remind you, hey, I'm going live tomorrow night. It's usually tomorrow night, or I'm going live tonight, depending how good I am at remembering to send it. That particular email, I will be doing a seasonal bingo sheet, and that's for you to use during the Late Night Crafty Club or anytime you wish, but that is the freebie for that. So that will go out once a season. And so there is a freebie now for each of them. The Late Night Crafty Club, that one is no problem. I always send that one out and with no issues. And it has a very high open rate because most people who sign up for it, they want to know they want to be reminded when I'm going to go live. This email, on the other hand, is more of this is what's going on at the Reset Girl. And so far, I've been very secretive about it. Miss Lee says, you were better in 2025 sending emails than you were in the past. I feel like we got quite a few from you this past year. That is probably, I tried. I'm glad that's your impression, Lee. It's not my impression, but I'm glad it's yours. Maybe I did do better in 2025 than I did compared to to the past. Maybe I am judging myself against the standard that I set for myself, hoping I would do better. And that is because, like, you know, I bought like a little kit of templates to make pretty emails, and then I failed that mission a bit. So I'm definitely not beating myself up about it, but I'm going to do better, and I'm figuring out a way to do that. So that's what these little fun freebies will be. That will be the first, and I plan on doing 2 emails a month. That is my little goal I set for myself, and I already have like some little thoughts on how I'm going to do it. However, my little email name is going to be From My Desk, because I just feel like it's this desk. This is where I sit. This is where you guys see me compile and compose and do all the things that I have done at TRG for many years now. So I thought I'm just going to call it that. It sounds like something I'm sending from my desk, a little note. You know, it sounds like the stationery that we grew up with as kids. You know, like that Ziggy stationery or that Hallmark stationery, the kind that would be like the kind that would just say, what was that other? I'm trying to think of the other brand. It's just trying to pop into my head. And it would say something like, from my desk, just a note from me. So it's like really casual. I'm not trying to be a big brand. I'm just trying to be like, look, a little note from me. So, Kimberly, that's so sweet. Thank you. She says that you're the best thing to see on YouTube. Well, I love that. Thank you. And I'm so glad that you're still around to see me. I love that you guys just keep on coming back for whatever reason. And there, yes, Lorelai, exactly. A little love note from me. So that's what my little newsletter name is going to be, is From My Desk, and just a little something that I send out. One thing of which will be the freebie. So, and just some little thoughts of like what I'm doing throughout each season, because I am making a intentional decision with the seasonal story that I'm, create and kind of like try to create for the membership. But it's also starting with me. Like, how do I want to live this season? How do I want my winter to feel? What am I going to do this winter? So it's starting with me. It's starting with like, I'm trying to live a more intentional life. It's an overused word, but I get why people use that word. I am trying to make more of an effort to do things instead of just letting my life slip by. And one of the things I did intentionally was to create this little book. So I took some of the best parts of like my other books that I've made and made it very, very simple and less intimidating than maybe the playbook was, which was very, very, very crafty. And this is more about just being very simple and making more room for, like, if you want to throw in a collage in here, if you want to scribble in here, if you want to document things, you certainly can. You could make a little vision board or an inspiration board if you wanted, but really it's to collect in the simplest way possible just some of the little highlights of your month, a few things that you did, because honestly, even if I wanted to do that, I don't have anywhere to record it. I'm sure you can relate if you don't do that faithfully in something. And I never have the right thing. I don't have the right notebook. I don't have the right tool. So if I just jot things down in some haphazard way, I never stick with the same planner all year. So I never have something that's archival, something I can look back at every single year and go, here's that album that I kept making. So I wanted to start somewhere. So I made myself an annual kind of book, and it's based on some of the structure of the playbook, some of the things I really liked from like my Rooted magazine or the Wholehearted Sheets, some of the books and documenting I've done, and I kind of pulled it all into a really simple little book. And so this is what I'm going to have for the year. And if you want to join me, you can grab one. It's not linked up in the chat room, but I'm sure Sir Speaker will help me do that. But what's really neat about this is This isn't asking you to come up with amazing things that you've done, because honestly, I think the older you get, the more your life slows down. Okay, we're still busy, but your life slows down in a way where it's more mundane. Like you're not going on fancy trips. You know, you're not, your life isn't, for a lot of people, it's not made up of all these amazing constant moments. And if it was, those are the things that you want to document, like in your, you know, like your scrapbook. Those are things with lots of pictures. Those are things you're going to take time to, you know, create some kind of album or journal or something. I'm talking about just if your life has become ordinary, and there's nothing wrong with ordinary. That's how many of us spend year after year of our life, is just a really ordinary life. And I think we need to make that word have more of a, less of a negative connotation. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying it's for your ordinary life. And that can be like, what was I binge watching this month? Because I do get little obsessions about certain snacks or certain things. And if really that's all that I can say about my January, remember that month that I had this thing about that one little like chocolate snack? If that is all I have to look back on my January, it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing, because that is how I feel about 2025. There's a whole lot of black holes in my memory of like, what did I even do in February? I mean, sit here and think for a moment, ladies, and Chris and Mark. Think for a moment, what did you do in February? What amazing thing stands out in your mind? What were you into? What did you watch? What did you do? It's really, 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 really hard to remember ordinary things, to remember just the things that feel like more mundane, the things that entertain us. I mean, they keep us occupied, books we read, hobbies we have, but it's hard to track that when it just blends into month after month, week after week. It's part of the background. So I just thought I want to have something that I can just record what's going on in my background, but then it gives me a platform to like decorate that page and put stuff on there, experiment. That can be a vehicle for me to craft with that I wouldn't ordinarily have. And I think that is I'm looking for low pressure crafting, really easy peasy things to do. So there you go, Mark. Thank you for the reminder. Dr. Pepper Zero. When did that come into what month did that come into our life and take things over? That's what I want to know. So that is one of those things that I was just been thinking about, is like, this would be a really great thing. And I whipped this book out so fast once I had that little concept, is like, I just want to have something for my year. So of course, when I make something for myself, I want to share it with my friends. And so that is what I wanted to do. And exactly, Lauren says, I was working on my winter playbook from 2020 in February. It was so fun. I really surprised myself with the things I came up with and made. That's wonderful, Lauren. And that was I agree, when I think 2019 was the year that I actually worked in all 4 seasons. But I did not work faithfully in it the following year. That was very, very spotty, if at all. I don't think I even completed a single season, if I remember correctly. And I think that it's a beautiful book in terms of like having so much stuff, to do. But I wanted to feel like if I wanted to keep the design of this really low level, because that would be something I could crank out easily and put in your hands, and then you could do whatever you want. Because when pages are white with simple black, fonts on them, like our planners, then you can make it yours and you can do whatever you want. And then I don't have the pressure to like do all the design, because that's the stuff that makes me freeze and have a hard time cranking out work. So this is a mutually beneficial product. Something I can do and you can do. Sherry says, I don't even remember what I did last month. Exactly. Exactly. The older we get, the more like how fast time is going. And then the more it's like, I don't remember what is even happening anymore. Once it's in my rearview mirror, I feel like I'm not even, wait, maybe I said that right the first time. I feel like I don't even, it's like it just goes right. It's dust in the wind. I don't even remember it. So anyway, that was, that was my, that is my little soapbox for the Crafty Girl Yearbook. So this is something we can easily bring to the Late Night Crafty Club, and it's something that you can just kind of, work on and add to. And I think also kind of create a little ritual for yourself, like at the beginning of the month. It has a really fun way of kind of asking you to like set your intentions for each season. Like, this is what my bucket list for this season is going to be, so that you actually make some little plans for yourself. Like, what do I want to get out of spring? What do I want to get out of winter? Really think about it. What do I want to accomplish? Not necessarily like a goal, but like, I want to experience winter. What does winter feel like to me? What would I feel like really happy or excited if I did in the wintertime? And depending where you live, that can look like many different things. Some of you guys live in the South, and so you probably aren't planning on going to the snow. You may not. That might be quite a journey for you to see snow if you live in the South. So whatever winter looks like for you, that is, how you could plan your bucket list and what were those highlights for your season. And then you have a place to record some gratitude. You have a place to kind of record what you're currently doing that month. So I think those are really easy ways of documenting that is more my style. I don't have to think very hard. So that's the Crafty Girl Yearbook. We're heading into 2026 with a really fun book. I'm so proud of myself for knocking that out. That wasn't even something that I had intended. I was supposed to be working on the play kit. And I decided to throw that in there instead. So I'm just throw that into the mix. So, and I got freebies made and I've actually made most of the freebies. I think I have them all made up and through August. And then I had to pause. So I have almost all of those done. And then the play kit. So let's look at the play kit, shall we? So the play kit is my newest creation. I'm launching it tonight. It is debuting tonight. If you are in the clubhouse, in the Happy Place Club, and you're an all access member, this is included in your membership fee. It is your seasonal kit. And this season, I wanted us to do an activity that would be really, really simple, because most of us coming out of the holidays would feel pretty tired, right? We feel pretty tired. There's a lot of things a lot of us are trying to accomplish in January. I know a lot of people are thinking about planning. You're thinking about trying to get maybe some projects done, get yourself aligned with like, what do I need to do for like work, career, all the different extracurricular activities that you have. So crafting may be something or creating might be something you feel like I don't have time for. So I wanted to pick something that was as easy as possible and something that would just be relaxing and enjoyable and would help you with maybe using up some of your stash and be kind of more of a mindless, I want to just craft to craft. And I don't have to think very hard. I don't have to make a million decisions about making this page look wonderful. Because if I just want to be a 12-year-old kid again and cover this page with stickers, cover the page with images, I have permission to do so. And so I turned to the good old glue book. That is the kind of the name. I think that's sort of a universal name that a lot of people call it. This is how we crafted back in the day. I think all of us will be familiar with this concept, but the term glue book might be a new term to you. You might have been seeing people use that term. Basically, it's collage. It's gluing flat things or pasting flat things, paper, ephemera, stickers, images into a notebook or a book of some kind of bound book. I suggest something like a cheap composition book. I couldn't get that word out. Composition book. So I grabbed this from Walmart. It is, I got a heavy duty one. So this cover is kind of like a plastic cover. So this one is not the 99-cent special. It's like $2. But I wanted it to be really sturdy, which is why I went with that. And it's a cheapie. So if you have a partway used notebook, you have an old planner that you just haven't tossed, something that you didn't, continue using, this is a great use for it because you're going to cover all of the page up with all kinds of stuff. So any notebook laying around that you just want to like mess around in, this is experimenting. It's just having fun. You don't have to show it. You don't even have to share it or show it if you don't want to. This is just about messing around and having fun. That could be your little lab. So look at this as just, I just want to play and mess around in this. And it's not even something I have to let anyone look at. It's just for me to have fun covering up the pages with stuff. So if you look at it as simply as that, that might help you think of this project as like think of it differently than how you normally approach all the other projects we do. Because I think a lot of times when we think of like making a junk journal, making pocket pages, making Lister's Got a List, you put so much effort into like, how do I want to archive this? And how do I want to enjoy it in the future? And what kind of kits do I need to buy to make this look beautiful? This is not that project. This is just, what leftovers do I have? What stuff, like rummage in the kind of like scrappy, crappy stuff that you don't really care about, but for some reason you can't throw away. Like a lot of us have that. It's kind of like, it's okay kind of scrapbook stuff. It's okay stuff, but you don't really want to toss it. That stuff, that's the stuff that would work great for this. You can use magazine images, catalog images, junk mail stuff, anything that just covers that, because it's the enjoyment of pasting and cutting and sticking, right? That's huzzah. That's what we're doing. But in this realm, there's also a lot of fun things to cut up and images that you can use. And so I curated a bunch of stuff because there are a cajillion different kinds of collage imagey books that you can buy. So I rounded up some images and things that I thought would be really fun to craft with. And that is what I put together for the Crafty Girl Play Kit. And this is the glue book edition. So there's 170 plus little things in this little kit to do stuff with. So when you purchase it or get it in your membership kit, you will actually get this. This is what you'll receive. And these are the buttons to download it. So you can download the files that contain the 32-pound paper files. And you just click on this with your mouse. This is what you'll see on your screen. And you click on the download sticker paper. So I actually printed this to show it to you, but these are actually buttons that are hyperlinked. So you can just click and then you can like save this in your filing system. So you always have it. And that way you'll have access to those files too. I started getting these from different people I was purchasing from, and I absolutely love this because then I can just file this away and I won't have to be stressed about where did I put that file? Where is this? Where is that? I won't have to worry about. It creates a very simple form of filing that I really, really love. So we separated the files into two sections for you. So the 32-pound paper and the sticker paper. So, and then here is the file itself. Let's do a little fast. Here's the little quick little guide. This is me talking blah, blah, blah that I just did. And then I made prompts. There's over 30 prompts to kind of get you crafting, give you ideas or guidance. If you wanted to be challenged a little bit, if you don't like looking at a blank page, if you just want to get a little warm up going, I came up with different categories of prompts to help you along. And then we have the collage elements. So Mark printed all of mine on glossy sticker stock. So that's why there's like a shine to mine. And my printer, this is the printer we use to print your stickers. Our printer does an amazing job with that glossy sticker paper. So that's what I wanted. So this is I Love Being a Girl. It's a little collection, a little 80s collection of all the little fun throwback stuff that we that we used in the 80s. I just thought that was fun. So then there's a bunch of different images of girls doing different things, all different types of ladies. I just threw on them, and I did it on purpose. I just threw on random stuff because that is how I want you to think about this project, is random. I want things to feel like you have permission to use weird things together, have no rhyme or reason together. I wanted you to have just like the freedom to do whatever you like. And that is, that's the beauty of this. There's no rules. The only rules are the ones you impose upon yourself, girlfriend and boyfriends. That is it. So, Margie, no. So the question is the same images in the two files? No. I separate them for you. I tell you, these are the ones I want you to print on 32 pound, and these are the ones on sticker paper. And that's the same thing I've done for years, how I give you your files. I always separate them for you. How you choose to print them is totally up to you. I'm just giving you the best practice that I think of, how I'm printing mine. I separate the files that way so that you have at least guidance of what makes the best paper to print to. It's like a built-in instructions is how I kind of conceived it. So that's what that is for. So let's continue. We have more little, I love these little mouths. I've been using them so much lately. So more of that, some random vintage goodness, another lipstick mouth, hands, ephemera, candy, flowers, more flowers. These look incredible on this glossy paper. If you could see them up close, this is just, they're amazing. Amazing. And then we have the word elements. So I curated a bunch of like fun quotes and expressions and stuff. You can like cut these up into word strips or into like little blocks. You can not use these at all. You can use them as a guide and just write them out. It's very similar to the Commonplace project. I personally like throwing on words onto my work, but you don't have to do that. It's totally up to you. Mark printed these to sticker paper for me. And I also included words that matched with the quotes. So if you wanted to have like a highlight word, there's like a word that matches some of these, because I like doing that. As like I like to have like I call it a power word that kind of like highlights a quote. So I made those kind of to be matchy. So like here's an example. I am a museum of everything I've loved, curated. So curated is basically a collection of things that you have put together. And it's what someone who works in a museum would do, is they would curate a little collection. And so I thought that was a great power word for that quote. Today is a great day to make something, create. So that would be like a header. It could be just a word you pop in there. If you printed these on clear sticker stock, that would be a really fun way to work some like layering magic onto your page of like amazingness. So that was that. And then here's a bunch more words. So I am obsessed with this font. It looks like it's handwritten. I have been writing like this in my personal artwork. So I actually purchased this font because of it. So I love it. It feels very, very 80s. Like it feels old school to me. It feels like a way that we would have written to be different. So that is the kit. So if that is the case, then that would be my partner may not have linked things properly, because that is not how they should be. So I will let my I'll let Mr. Crafty figure that one out, and I apologize for that, because that was not how it should work. But anyway. So anywho, the other thing that you would get included with this sheet, and so these two should link to two very different files, my sweet friends. This is the moment where I'm like, I love him. Those of you who have been married for 20 plus years, this is the moment where I go, this is how you get to 20 years. I just love that man so much. I'm so sorry, girls. All right. So anyway, the other thing that is included in there is this. It's a little promo for the yearbook. So This should take you to the yearbook page. Listen, I designed all of these. I am the one who created them. I can't promise you where the links take you. That's all I know. I handed this over to my partner. That's all I could say. So, anywho. But thank you very much for your attention, for paying attention to my little talk. Anyhow, that is the Crafty Girl Play Kit, and he's gonna take care of that. So, anyhow. Okay. So the Crafty Girl Play Kit will be our core fun exercise for the winter, and I think it makes a great like low energy, low level kind of crafting activity that you don't have to think hard. You can sit in front of the TV and snip up stuff. So like I said before, a composition book works great. If you have a spare notebook that is just sitting around, like a lot of us, you know, if you buy a set of notebooks, you might have a spare one. An old planner, something you didn't like work your way all the way through, or old notebook that's partially used. Here's the project to just use it. This is a great way to use stuff up. This is also a great project to do with your grandkids or your kids, because now whatever they do is going to look as good as yours. You want to look like what they're doing, you do what they're doing, okay? This is the perfect like equalizing craft, because this isn't about skill level, it's just about covering. Now, hear me though. Absolutely, you can add design and you can get creative and be more, you know, artistic. I just want a lot of us to enter into this craft with the idea that there's no pressure on you to do that. If you feel that you're in the flow and you're like, oh, I'm gonna arrange this and design this and add this, great, wonderful. I hope that happens for you. But I don't want that to be your expectation. I don't want you to walk in going, I need to make amazing collages and beautiful spreads, and I need to have things so artistic. I want us to feel like we're walking in and just tapping into the way that we used to craft when we were younger, when it was really about I just love the way this looks. I honestly, when I thought about it, I remember when I would build collages full of images with words, it was really just about covering the cover, covering the page. That's all I was really focused on. I had no other reason or purpose for how I laid things out other than I personally didn't want to have gaps showing underneath. And some people love that. They love white space around things, and that's great too. In the membership, in the clubhouse, I did build a Pinterest board that's full of glue book images that I curated for you. So tomorrow that should be available. And you can take a look at all the different ideas and concepts. I kind of put like a kind of a variety of different styles in there so that you can get a concept of like how people kind of approach all of this. Okay. Yes. Terry Duffield, yes. She asked the question, are you saying bless his heart? And all the southern girls are like, They all knew what that meant. So yes. That is what was happening. Okay. So the other fun thing that I have done is I got myself subscribed really cheaply to magazines.com. When you first subscribe, they have all these incredible deals, like $7 for a year of Real Simple, or $5 for a year of Harper's Bazaar. Now the prices go up the following year, so of course I I'm going to cancel most of them. But these are the kind of images that are really super fun to collage with. So to me, it's worth taking advantage of the deal. I might actually keep a couple of them because the prices were worth keeping, because magazines are hard to get your little mitts on today. If you have access to If your library has them, great. But, you know, a lot of people who love collage are into this, and it's harder to get your hands on them because a lot of teachers get them for their kids, like in the classroom. There's always a call out. I noticed that. I joined a bunch of groups to see if I could get them for free. It's hard. It's hard to get them. So I'll always be like looking for them, I think, whether it's through the library or free groups or thrift stores. But I still spent like $1.50, $1.75 on a used magazine at the thrift store. So they're on to us. They're on to us. So anyway, I just found a variety of magazines that I subscribe to. So magazines.com is a really great place to go. And they're trying to give magazines away. They just want people subscribed. So check those out. There's a lot of really great deals. And then you can they'll tell you right up front, you can cancel this after the first year. So there you go. Lorelei says, I'm subscribed. I get 5 different ones. The other thing that I also did was I subscribed to some seed catalogs. Baker Creek is probably, I didn't get their big thick one that you have to purchase. This is their free one, but they are probably, I would say, like the king of catalogs. Their photography, the way that they do their catalogs. This is more of I think they're a more functional one, but the giant one they have, it's beautiful. A lot of imagery in here would be really cool to add to your stuff. So sitting there and snipping while you're like listening to an audiobook, watching your grandkids, listening to a movie, would be really fun. I mean, isn't that cool? It looks so feathery and soft. Some of the textures in these catalogs, stuff, I mean, most of us would never see any of this in a store. I mean, this is like, even in a farmer's market, you'd have to grow it yourself. But their catalog is just gorgeous. Their photography is amazing. Look at that. Look at that cabbage. That cabbage is amazing. He would be amazing in a photo, especially because he's got a white background, right? To snip him out. So yeah, anything that is paper in your house, start looking at it differently, because this would be a really fun, relaxing thing to do. Is just your glue stick, your scissors, and your notebook. You could snip bok choy is so yummy. You could snip that out. So yeah, to me, this is the gold standard of the seed catalogs is Baker Creek for sure. Look at that. Isn't that fun? I feel like you could do so many things with him. So they have their big catalog is like, it's like a phone book. And I think it's like $20, which if you really love photography like that, I feel like it's kind of worth it. And then I signed up for Burpee, and I haven't really looked through this one, but I think vegetables and greenery is really fun for collage. I think it has a lot of potential. It's just it's so beautiful and fresh looking, and there's really fun things you can do with it. But it was free, so it's just a fun thing to have to throw in there, because you never know where your creativity will take you. If you want to add more like interesting images, vintage images, there are 2 books on Amazon that I recommend. I have them. I think they're wonderful. This one by Adam Davis is The Cutout and Collage. I will just tell you this right now. There's a cajillion books on Amazon. They're not all equal. They're not equal in quality. A lot of people who put them together do not make sure that they're single-sided. The images are not high quality. A lot of times they're used AI, so they're not. I think sometimes with AI that if their images are not produced well, they're off. They're just a little off. So some books out there there's a lot of them, but I don't think they're all worth having. This is a professional photographer that has collected a lot of images in his own career over the years. I looked him up. So I was super impressed with his book. I wouldn't say like all of it's my style or stuff I could see myself using, but the quality of his book is really impressive. And what you want to look for are books that are single-sided, because if you have images on both sides, that means you're snipping up something else. The other thing, I'm trying to remember if it was him or not. I can't remember now. There was, I'm not sure if I should say what was going to say, because it may not be him. So like you see, there's a bunch of, a lot of this is like for images that are in the public domain, which is why a lot of the books out there have the same images, because they're able to print them for free. So these are all just regular pages that you can snip out and paste in there. Some companies have taken, I think you did a great job curating some of the ladies in here, like the pictures of people. I have some of these images myself, so like finding them is kind of tricky. And then there's this one, The Extraordinary Things to Cut Out in Collage. And this is the same thing. You'll find similar things in here. This is glossy paper. It's shiny and slick, kind of like gift wrap paper, but thicker. So this one's really beautiful. This one is a very highly rated book on Amazon. And there's also a sticker book that goes with this, which I also own but cannot find at the moment. So this has a lot of cool things in it. So if you just want to have a lot of randomness to your designs like I do, then this is a great thing to have, just to, you know, neither one of these are sticker books. These are both just collaging. So you're just going to be cutting them out like you would a magazine. So, but that's their purpose. So these are just ideas of other things that you might want to toss into your stash if you wanted to have some like purposeful kind of images, and pictures of animals and people are kind of fun to put on top of like random things and just kind of create your own little fun scenes, that kind of thing. So it just gives you options. But if you want to just use up random stickers and papers, that can be fun too. What are we doing?
Your iPad's making everything out of frame.
Oh, I see.
Remember, you love me.
I love you. And Lorelei asked about, okay, she said can you look at the trend report page? Woo! So I got a question from the chat. So this is the intentions page for 2026 of the yearbook, and your word for the year, and the things you're avoiding and the things you're intending to do for 2026, making a vision board, and then you have a trend report. So I personally, this is something really fun and something that I like the idea of, like being intentional with my season and how do I want to live my season. You can use the stories that I create for the membership and just use that as just sort of like your backbone of creating a trend report if you want to. It's kind of what I use. I'll give you an example. So this is the season story in the membership is the winter warmth season. I made up that title. And so the trend is freestyle crafting, because that's the glue book, right? Glue books and vision boards. Inspiring reads, magic in the everyday, because it's all about your ordinary life, trying to find little bits of magic in the ordinary. So that dovetails with what I'm trying to get you to do, which is to notice and pay attention to small things, the little small things we're doing, so we can document them. So when I created my little trend, I was thinking about what are the activities that we're doing in the membership? What are the activities that I just built for myself, in my book? What are the things that I'm trying to get myself to do? So that is really what this is. It's a fun way of kind of creating intentions for myself. So what is my theme for this season? Is it slowing down? Is it getting rest? What is it for you? So everyone has a different kind of, I think sometimes it depends on where you live, can also kind of change how that looks for you. Some people who live in sunshine all year long may not feel like it's a cozy, restful season. When I was thinking about it, it finally dawned on me that I should stop being so attached to this idea of it's always like so snowy and cold in the winter, because for a big chunk of the membership, people don't live in that kind of environment. they all live in like sunshine climates, and it's very sunny. I mean, that's how I grew up. I grew up in San Diego, so I never even saw snow. I didn't have a winter coat. So when I thought about it, how do people feel about winter? It may not feel like that for them. So your trend report gives you an opportunity to kind of create your own trend in your life. So what is my theme? What is my story? What am I going to focus on in my life? It's kind of a fun kind of like it elevates and romanticizes your life a little bit. So the mood, what is your mood? Are you energetic? Are you hopeful? Are you optimistic? For me, winter warmth, I chose the idea of like focusing on the sunshine. There's so many different types of sunshine in the winter. The sun feels so different at different times of the day in the winter. It's different than the sun in the summer. I never want to be in the sun in the summertime, ever. But in the winter, I love being in the sun. Isn't that funny? It's like the opposite. So to me, I suddenly realized like, no, I want to focus on how lovely and sunny it can feel in the winter, and how I feel so optimistic in the winter. So I chose to focus on positive aspects instead of like cold and cuddly and cozy things, which I love. That is my nature. But that is what I feel like I was just kind of doing with the fall. And I don't really want to have 2 back-to-back seasons where I'm thinking like, I just want to sit on the couch all day in my blanket. As much as I would love to, I actually want to try a different approach. I want to experiment, because that's my word for the year. So I want to think of it differently. So let's try a different experiment. So that's why I wanted to try, like, I'm going to offer this opportunity to everyone else to kind of build their own trend. This is what I do when I make trend stories, when I've built sticker collections, those years of doing that here in TRG. That is what I would do. I would make myself a mood board. I would make myself a visual, a color palette, and tell myself a story. I had a whole framework of how I would bring something to life. And that is what you can do. And when you have ownership of that, it actually kind of like transports you. It kind of helps you start living that little life for yourself, or kind of thinking through, I want a special scent in my house. I want my house to smell a certain way during this season. So you select maybe a certain type of candle waxes or candles in the spring. Like, this is going to be my signature scent this spring. So it's just being intentional. It's not burning whatever you have, or just like whatever I got. Maybe it's you go get yourself some cheap candle waxes if you want to do that. I mean, a candle wax from Walmart is like $1.25. So it's just a thought of how you could approach that and give it being intentional with it. The flavors and fragrance. So that would be, wrapping that up in there. And what kind of flavors. So here's your chance to ask yourself, do I want to have a signature drink? Do I want to experiment with different flavors? Do I want to have a little fun cocktail, a mocktail that I sip on my patio in the morning or in the evening? This is about that little idea of romanticizing. It's like a new ritual that you have while you open your mail, while you do something, part of your ordinary life, you make a little ritual out of it with something lovely, an ordinary moment is elevated with something a little magical. So it could be a new flavor that you start ordering in your coffee. So that's something that Starbucks does every season. They roll out a new menu of flavors. All of the places do that. So you can do that in your own home. Maybe I'm going to try something, a different tea, I'm going to bring a different little teacup out. It's going to be my little signature teacup I use for the spring. Get where I'm going with that? That's what it's about. So you could make your own little color palette. You could do your own little patterns and icons. So even if you just do it on the page, you don't actually have to live it out. It's just kind of fun to build. So that is the concept of the trend report, and how it can be a fun, creative exercise to do. I personally love it. I have loved it for years. And so spoiler, this is the printable that will be in the seasonal station tomorrow. So that will be part of your winter warmth. So you can hang this up in your craft space and have it to to look at and see, like, this is what I was trying to pull inspiration. This is what inspired me. These are the images that I grabbed and kind of made me think about as I was telling myself the story. And as I will continue doing that throughout the season for myself, is reminding myself, what is this season about? It's about being optimistic. It's about sunshine, even in the winter. You know, it's about the little bright lights, even when you're feeling down. There's so many different ways that you can kind of like play that out in your head, you know, using your creativity. So it's a really fun creative exercise. And I think that was all. That's all the little chit chat that I had when it came to what I got to do. So that is the play kit. It's the Crafty Girl play kit. It's the glue book edition. So that is available in our shop right now. If you go to theresetgirl.com, I have that. And then just be sure to sign up for both of our newsletters if you have not been, if you have not done that. It is also on trg.cafe. That's an actual URL, by the way. If you type that in, that should take you. It takes you to a page with lots of links. So you want to be sure that you're signed up for both newsletters, because I will be sending it out this weekend to everybody, and that will be the freebies. So that is it. That is my spiel. The spiel. And that took 1 hour to get through all that. That's it. So, okay. What am I doing with all this? Let me put all this back together. Okay. All right. I am going to, okay. I just need one moment and I'll be right back. Sir, can we pause the show for 1 second? One pause. Okay, so I wanted to share with you guys something that was so funny. So I got my mom for Christmas, I got her a gift for her doggy. So she has a Chihuahua named Rita. Rita's named after Rita Hayworth, the actress. And Rita is she's special. My mom loves this dog. So I thought my mom's kind of at the point where she doesn't want stuff. So I wanted to get something for her I thought would make her like laugh and be joyful. So I got Rita a dress for the holidays. So she had a little party dress. Because Rita has a lot of events to go to in the holidays. She's got my mom's birthday, she has Thanksgiving, and she's got Christmas. So I decided to order her a holiday dress. And I have purchased clothes for Rita in the past. When we took our trip cross country, I bought Rita her first dress from a Walmart in New Hampshire. I got her a really nice little sweater set in New York City from like a TJ Maxx. So and my mom brought her home a little hoodie from Tokyo Disney. So Rita has a wardrobe. So I got her this really cute little dress, and I decided to top it off with a little wig because they make wigs for dogs, which I did not know. And I love drawing little eyebrows on Rita. so so Rita ended up looking a little bit like I was calling her a tipsy ant. She looks like a little, well, I'll just show you the picture. So I have I have her here.
Put it in front of your face.
Oh, there we go. So there's Rita in her little wig with her eyebrows. Oh my gosh. Now the funny thing is when Rita has this wig on her head, she turns into a different dog. And if you guys have heard of like I think it's called a thunder coat. It's almost like a little blanket wrap for dogs when they have anxiety about fireworks or thunderstorms. So it's a product you can buy to wrap your pet in. And I think it's called a thunder coat. Well, when I put the wig on her, that's what she acted like. She got very calm. She turned into a different dog. She was not like the dog I am familiar with. She just became very, very docile and very, very relaxed. Like she didn't want to move. So we started saying that she had a thunder wig on. I cannot tell you how much this makes me laugh. She looked like a little crazy person. She looked like the little great aunt that some people have in their family with the crazy little eyebrows. She's wearing her little wig. Oh, my Lanta. So my mom, she just could not stop laughing. She thought it was the funniest thing. She asked me to keep putting it on her for pictures and all kinds of stuff. So it was an excellent present for her. Even if she never wears that wig again, it made my mom so happy and joyful. But poor Rita. Rita didn't hate it. She was fine. She flicked it off as soon as you put her down, she got it off. But she was very, very she wasn't upset about it. And she looked very cute in her little party frock. So the dress was a hit. But I'm telling you, this dog is not a sweet dog. She has bit me multiple times. She's bit Mark multiple times. She hates Mark. So to see her turn into this very sweet little angel because I put a wig on her, it was so funny. It almost made me feel like I almost felt like I liked her. Like, oh my gosh, I just love this dog because she just turned into a totally different little creature. She just, if you're familiar with Chihuahuas are just they're a single person dog. They like one person and that's their person, and everyone else, it's either they can take or leave. And for whatever reason, she's not very nice. I'll do if she can't have my mom, she'll accept me, but she absolutely cannot stand Mark. So anyway, part of it was retribution in a kind way. But she was adorable. So we took some pictures. I just had to share that with you because some of you have seen Rita on the show. She multiple times she had been on our Bible reading show we used to have, and she's made many appearances. So I figured that some of you who remembered that would get a kick out of seeing her in her little topper. So yes, they make little cosplay wigs and such for pets. So, and I thought I saw somebody say that, was it Julie? Did you say that your daughter wanted to get your cat a wig? I'd be curious to see how long a cat would. My daughter wants a dog wig for our cat. So I would be curious how long a cat would let, let that be on their head. Yes, Robin says Rita has been dipping into the eggnog a few too many times. That's what she looks like. She looks like she's that person at the holiday party that you're like, I got it. Oh boy, look at the time. I gotta go. Yes. Okay, what was the other thing I wanted to tell you guys? Oh, I have some news. Okay, so I hadn't wanted to share this earlier. I wanted to wait because I needed to make sure that we told everyone in our family before I said anything. So, big news. This is a big life change coming up. Mark and I have decided that we are going to sell the RV. We are done. And as Hawaiians would say, pow. We're out of here. We've had it. January will be 9 years of living in the RV. So we've had enough. So we are going to be selling the RV, which means that we have a lot of change coming up at the beginning of the year. So just when we thought it was going to get all nice and calm and we were going to get settled in, it absolutely turned around on us. We had kind of a surprise change of events. And so we decided to make lemonade out of the situation and decided to use this opportunity to say, let's use this opportunity to look at just making this a permanent change and not just another reactionary. Now what do we do? Because if you think about it for a second, when you live in an RV, you're never permanent and you're always beholden to somebody else saying you can live here. So that is not a good place to be, especially as you're getting older. You don't really want it to be in that situation. So we have chipped away at that payment. So it's like we finally have it down enough that we can try to sell it. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to need to move the RV back to California because that is a better marketplace for selling RVs after doing some research on it. So California, here I come. That state just keeps dragging me back. Just every time I get away. I feel like I've been bouncing back and forth between Washington and California now for so many years. So yes, that is what's gonna happen. I thought I was moving into a cozy cabin and a little cottage here and it was gonna be great. Instead, I'm gonna upheave my entire life and we're gonna move. So just so you know, I'm going to continue soldiering on doing the late night crafty club. It just may be that I can't keep up the gorgeousness that is this little space. At some point it is just gonna have to be what it is. It's just gonna have to, be torn down or be messy. It's gonna be real life. I can't keep up appearances. I can't have it look like the guests are coming over. Otherwise you may not see me. Because I'm gonna have to start tearing things up in here, and this will be a master class in decluttering because it will have to start here and work its way out of the RV and into the storages, and so we are going to be probably back to an apartment is probably what we're going to do. But Mark and I are actually really excited about that because we are beyond done with this situation. So it'll be really nice to just be in a larger space again and just be more in control of things. not in control. At least that part of life, because there's so much of our lives that we don't have control over, right? So this will be good. And so anyway, that's what I expect to be happening in January and February. Is I'll be in the whole decluttering and reducing stage, and so which is a busy time. So whatever crafting I do, I mean, that's going to be a really good fit for this craft project, is because I will be in that stage of life. So I know a lot of us get very busy and feel like we can't craft. So I want to show myself like, no, I'm going to go ahead and keep working. I'm not giving up on the Late Night Crafty Club. In the past, you know, these are the type of projects that I would have said, oh, I'm going to pause the show. So I might have to pause the show for the actual move down there. But other than that, I really want to see myself continuing on and just adjust, as I did, you know, for the other times I've done live streaming. So I have made other aspects of our life work, even when we had a lot of shifting going on. So the Late Night Crafty Club will just have to adjust to that as well. It'll just have to be, maybe I'm live streaming from the front seat of my car. I'll have to get one of those TV trays that the mukbangers use to eat in their car. But I'll be doing my crafting from it. So that's what I'll do. Oh yes, I would love that, ladies. I'd love to come over to your neck of the woods. Mark and I loved being out in the Tennessee. We loved all like going out in that direction. We fantasized about that. But as you know, when your parents start getting to be a certain age, you realize like time is growing short. I don't know how much time I have left. And I'm down to one parent. So I know that definitely weighs upon me, that like I want to have as much time with my mom as I can without, you know, without being in her lap. So I will probably have to just stick on this coast for now. So anyway, that's what's ahead for me. Does anyone else want to share any plans that they have for the future? The future of 2026. Like, do they have any exciting things happen? Do you have like some goals, like something, a new chapter that you're starting? Is there something? It doesn't even have to be super exciting. Is there something cool going on, or something just like different change in your life for 2026? Tell me in the chat, what does 2026 look like for you? What is coming forth at this time for you? But it's funny, I will say this, even though we both want to ditch the RV, now we're like starting to say things like, you know, we should make one more run to Pigeon Forge. Hey, you know, I really want to get back to Maine. So we're like trying to figure out, maybe we should get a small RV. We're terrible. We're just terrible. You cannot leave us alone together too long. We totally hype each other up, and then like we end up doing all kinds of crazy shenanigans because neither one of us is like, you know, this is a crazy idea. All right. Terry's really selling it. Well, if we mosey out that way, we would definitely make it a little tour, a little TRG tour. Okay. So let me know. There you go. So I'm sure a lot of us are thinking about health. Miss Julie says it's her health that she wants to be all about. Understandably, 45 is her number that is coming up in 2026. So again, age is that thing. When the older we get, the more it's like health is really much more of a priority to me. Aw, there you go, Mrs. Spencer. I totally agree. I feel like that's been true for me too. Like there's been times where like I don't really have anything planned in the next year, and I don't really have anything to look forward to. So I agree with you. It's it's more fun when you know, like, you have a trip coming up and something fun. And I know you guys do a lot of stuff together too. So I know that must be really hard because you guys usually do have things planned. But I am glad that your honey is going to be coming home soon. And that will be nice. Wonderful. So we have decluttering, getting things organized, slowing down, enjoying every single day, not rushing through the whole week. That is something that definitely needs practice for us, because think about it, to be fair, we have spent decades being really hard on ourselves, you know, to produce, to accomplish, to achieve, to take care of, you know. A big chunk of your life, you were probably being a wife, a mother, probably working outside the home, taking care of the home, all those things. So even when you start, you're getting away from that life, you still feel like it's still ingrained in you. So detoxing from it, it's really, really hard. And I totally understand that, because I noticed that too, is like, even just the thought of, like, you know, you could think about things differently or talk differently about, you know, like, I'm trying not to use the word goals. I'm trying to, like, even change that word in my thinking, so that, like, even making those small little changes, I notice, like, how certain things have become ingrained, like, to feel disappointed that I didn't do something, I didn't achieve something. So it's just very interesting how we have kind of, like, molded ourselves into being little producers. Bethany says, I'm hoping it doesn't look like 2025. I feel like 2025 was not a fantastic year for a lot of people. From the little tiny glimmers, I do not spend any time on social media at all. And just like things that I can't avoid seeing, because maybe it was like pinned on Pinterest or something. Because that's like really the only place I ever go. And I'll watch, like, occasionally I'll watch videos on YouTube, but I've cut back, way back on YouTube too. I feel like I see a lot of little comments about 2025 being horrible and awful for a lot of people. So I think a lot of people are probably looking forward to a new year in hoping it's going to be better. I think everybody hopes that, wishes that on some level. Oh my goodness. Paula says, I've just begun running this summer at age 66. I finished 3 5Ks. I am looking forward to completing 6 in 2026. Paula, you are an inspiration. That is amazing. And you just began running. Were you a runner earlier in your life, or like an active person earlier in your life? There you go, Lorelai. There's your there's your theme for January. You're welcome. Detoxing. Ooh, Victoria, and hello across the pond. She says a new romance, which I'm excited about. That is exciting. How fun is that? Oh, Kimberly, I'm so sorry. Oh, I am so sorry. I'm terribly sorry to hear that. You plan to reorganize your life instead of being forced to live with a forced new normal. My heart goes out to you. I feel that's just awful, and I'm terribly sorry to hear that, and I'm giving you a hug. Terry says, watching my 4 grandchildren grow up, especially the one born way too early in NICU. Oh, I remember your little grandson that you, I remember you posting about him in the membership. I'm glad that he's doing better and thriving. Robin is making reading her read through of the Bible a priority. Paula says no, she wasn't a runner earlier because she was her sister's caregiver. I began running as a time to pray and regather myself. I find that I enjoy it. That is what my mom is. She is her sister's caregiver. So, which that is, you're making a really good point, because I think caregivers definitely, their own health really does suffer when they are in that role. So I'm really happy for you that you took that opportunity to do something so positive for yourself. And that is wonderful and inspiring. I love stories like that. You know, women who become something like I wish I could remember her name. There's this one woman who became a fitness, what do you call it? She's like a fitness model. Is that, oh, I don't want to say, I don't know if that's the right word for her. She's into strength training, but she's like she became this in her late 70s, which is shocking. And she just amazing. And I found a bunch of pictures of her on Pinterest, and I pasted them in my book because I wanted to be reminded of how amazing that is and how not too late. Although it is much harder, I'm imagining, because once you start losing muscle mass, as we get older, us ladies, it's much harder to correct that and build it back up. So, but just incredible that she was in that, the ability to do that situation. She wasn't a health coach. She's like a person that I think she competes in fitness competitions, but so using the word model is what's not the right word. I just can't think of what she is, but she's on Pinterest, and she's absolutely stunning. And she's in her 70s, late 70s, as a matter of fact. And she started in her mid 70s. Denise says that her and her hubby are going on a Caribbean cruise the first week of February. Then I come home to have cataract surgery, and I hope that you have a wonderful time on your cruise. Sounds like that's going to be fun. And let's see, did I miss anybody else? Let's see. Okay, I think I got everybody that commented. And I printed out some questions, which now I am not seeing. Oh, here they are. I printed out some questions because I wanted to chit chat with you. Oh, speaking of, actually, I wanted to see something. Fitness influencer, possibly. I wonder if I could find her. Hold, please. Talk amongst yourselves. Let me see here. You know what? I probably have her on one of my boards. I have a hidden board that I have for, okay, so here's something. So I have a board, it's hidden, it's private. It's called A Whole New Me. And I made this board a long time ago. It has 1,500 pins, and it's all organized into different categories. But one thing that's really inspiring to me is kind of the concept or the idea of being able to sort of reinvent yourself, i.e. the Reset Girl. It's just how I think. It's who I've always been. So I made myself this whole board in all different kinds of little categories, whether it's hair, different types of exercising, reversing diabetes, different outfits that I would wear once I, got to a certain, size, that I was hoping to get to. I just kind of created this, this healthier version of myself. and it's kind of like an active goals board. It's like, here's this new life that I want to live. And it's really fun because I would like pin, outfits and clothes that I wouldn't necessarily wear today, but I would in my new life, and it's just very inspiring. So it's kind of like having a vision board, but it's really like an very active. I have like hairstyles in here, just not necessarily that I would like seriously go out and get that hairstyle, but it's kind of fun to imagine like, oh, if I was this other version of me, that's smaller, lighter, healthier, sassier, this would be the hair I would have. It's kind of fun. And so visiting this little place is it's very inspiring at times. Like sometimes you really need it. Like I have a whole section called Healthy Inspiration, and it's just pictures. Hopefully this is where I saved a picture of that lady, and I think she is here. Here she is. She is 80 years old, and she started working out at 56. This is her secret. Her name is Ernestine Shepherd. There's her. Hang on. Let me see if I can make that picture bigger. Nope. Okay, so that is her. That's her at 80 years old. So, there's a lot of little articles and stuff on here, like, because she's given interviews. And of course, someone like her would be incredibly inspiring. Here's another lady that was on here. That was another inspiring story for me. 73-year-old mom. So that is, I love having a board that has all this kind of stuff, because every time I need to like, kind of give myself a little push or a little reminder, or like I want to get into that mindset, sometimes it's easy to drift away from even thinking about how I can change myself and I can, have this other life. Because for me personally, I've only known how to do this if I like immerse myself into it completely. But I have learned a lot from this new living on using a GLP-1. It has really changed a lot for me. So I feel like, wow, this is really possible, to do things, because it's helping me with some of the most challenging parts of, making changes. So like just revisiting this with you, this is a really fun exercise. It's really easy to set up a Pinterest board. You can make little categories within that board, and it can give you something to preoccupy yourself that feels very inspirational or hopeful. Finding like interesting things to read that gives you something more inspiring and makes you feel like you're in control of something versus just doom scrolling on your phone. Like I've opted out of that long ago. I don't want to look at any of that. I want to be finding things that are very inspiring, that help me feel like I can do something about my situation, change what I want to change. And so I made myself basically a whole library called A Whole New Me. If I so choose, I can go visit my library and go find pictures and recipes and exercise stretching. It's a whole little curated library I made myself. If I want to immerse myself in making some lifestyle changes, and I'm the one that's curated it, so it's stuff that I really am interested in. And what's kind of fun is, like, at this point, it's been a few years since I've had it. I could probably go through there and delete a bunch of stuff and put fresh inspiration in there that would probably draw me in and make me interested in. But it would be fun to go through here and print pictures of stuff out from here and start putting it into my notebook, making a whole like vision board type of book. You can use it, like I personally find it to be very fun, is to like make a board that is focused on a one particular goal, like a spread. Maybe it's about like a project in your home. Maybe it's an area of your life that you want to work on, and you can use it as a way of just sort of like looking at it. It can make you feel so much like more calm. It can make you feel inspired. You can use it to pray with. You can use it to like journal with. You can use it as like, it's an inspiration board, but you could fill up a whole book like that. And so, one of these little sketchbooks, these are like, I think this was like $5 or $6 at Walmart. This could be, you could turn this into like a vision book, which is one of the things I was wanting to do for that retreat. That is, I'm hoping to do. This, I'm actually going to make a book for it if I do that. But if you wanted to just throw pictures in something like this and treat the whole thing like a vision board, I like doing that just so I have something beautiful and inspiring to look at, you know, and sometimes that can help you when you are dealing with different aspects of life, especially when things feel overwhelming. It could just give you something to focus on. You know, and there's been a lot of times when you are dealing with things like grief or loss or life change. You know, that was why the Reset Girl thing got born, was because of how much loss that I experienced all at once. Like all at once. It was just like life reached in and I'm taking this away from you, and this and this and this. Everything you just worked for, I'm taking it all away in one fell swoop. All of it. So, rather than let that just be this devastation, I tried to like focus on projects like that. I filled up one of these books with pictures exactly like this. I focused on my health and something that was in my control. I focused on going for walks and all of these different things. And I used that time to think about my new life and how when I got out of this situation, I was going to have this, and I was going to have that. Not material things, but like a better life thing, like a feel better thing. And that was the era that I was becoming the Reset Girl. You know, I got myself a little URL and I started acting as if I'm in the phase of changing my life, because one day I'm going to talk to women about changing their lives. And it's not that I actually ever really did, but it just became my little carrot. You know, that became the thing that helped me power through what I was going through so that I could think about how it would benefit someone else. That was my way of dealing with the grief, so that it minimized it more and helped me give me focus, gave me something positive to focus on, because there was absolutely nothing you could do about the circumstances that I personally was in. And Terry says, I saw a tattoo that said, be kind to your mind. I have seen that quote too. And your mind is the thing that often is what is causing you some of the greatest like grief. You're the one doing it to yourself a lot of times. Yes, Kimberly, yeah. I know. Sometimes I feel, I can't imagine. I am so sorry, my friend. I feel so terrible. I wish I could just give you a big hug. I'm sure there's so many people in your life right now that are, well, I hope there's people in your life that are there for you and giving you a hug. I know this is going to take all your strength to be there for yourself and for your children. So I'm very, very sorry. So this can be so if we were having struggles in 2025, if this was a really tough year for some of you, that is like the great opportunity, is like, you know, having a really positive mindset that 2026 will be better. At least going into it is like, it's going to be better. Because if it was this crummy, maybe it will be better. And I know there's certain types of losses and grief that we experience where that simply isn't going to be the case, but it definitely, it's going to be different. You know, it's going to be a new normal. It's going to be a new life that you walk through, depending on what it is. So Hi, Justine. She's in Australia, so she's already in 2026. So Justine, tell us, how is 2026 so far? What do we have to look forward to? Give us the weather report. We would like to know. I definitely wanted to say that for those of us who are dealing with like health issues, health is such a scary thing because, you know, you realize how fragile you are when something breaks, when something it isn't working the way it's supposed to. And you realize like all, you know, especially when it starts a domino effect and now the next thing isn't working or the next thing isn't working. That's a very, very scary thing. And so I just hope that this is the year that that those things come under control for you. And also, one of the reasons why I picked this particular craft is that it's such an accessible thing to do. It doesn't require you to buy anything new. I mean, if you have a pair of scissors, a glue stick, and a cheap notebook, which a lot of you even have, you don't even have to buy anything. This is something you can just do for therapy, for your own just like peace of mind, just to make yourself feel better in the moment. You know, just give yourself some relaxation is just snipping, putting on some music. And this is like you setting up something lovely for yourself. So things that don't cost money is going on YouTube and setting up a playlist, which I provide playlists in the membership. So I curate and put together lots of playlists. I put together the kind with like the ambiance kind that give you like crackling, you know, fireplace and rain falling and all those types. But also you have the chance to like set a little scene for yourself. So like getting a special little drink, drinking out of a special little cup, having a particular music on. And then, you know, maybe you don't have a fireplace, but you can listen to one on your device. And then sitting there with your scissors and and you're just like little snips of paper, just having that, whether it's you talking to, you know, yourself. Sometimes I find talking to myself to be very helpful. Talking out loud sometimes, especially for an introvert, sometimes that can just feel so good as just saying things out loud when you're all by yourself. But that can be really, that can be helpful. Miss Beautiful Touches says that we are in our 70s. My husband still works full-time and I work part-time. We are full-time caregivers for our youngest daughter who has cancer. I'm so sorry to hear that. Crafting is my therapy. So I did not, I never looked at crafting as therapy or anything that was like genuinely helpful ever, because it's not filled that for me. But I definitely am beginning to see the benefits of it more than I ever did before. And I definitely think that is a big driver for me why I've kept the Late Night Crafty Club, have wanted to keep that going, and why I've wanted to keep my brand creative centered, because it is such a help to people. It is such a important thing. And the one thing that I care about so much is having people feel like they have someone who they feel like a connection with, someone they can sit with. That's why I always say, welcome to the back of my RV, because I want you to feel like you're just sitting with me. And, you know, I'm not trying to be an influencer or have a big platform or any of those things. I just trying to be your crafty friend. And had I been younger, when I was a younger person, this probably would have been a way that I would have felt capable of being like having friends, was like doing something creative and crafty, because otherwise I was just a wallflower. I was so not wanting to be involved with other kids. So like this would have been something I would have felt safe with. Like, I know how to draw. I know how to do this. So this would have been a good gateway, would have been, you know, being crafty. So it's just a wonderful thing that people can come on to YouTube and find some live stream of some lady sitting in the back of an RV, crafting with people. So, and I love that we have people from all over the world that have joined us over the years, you know, so it's really wonderful. And I'm glad that there are people that do feel that way, because it is very difficult to have so many different challenges that we must face. So, Bethany says, I love the idea of a vision board book. And yes, I used to just fill the books up with pictures of like my new self, you know, because that would help me stay really focused on my goal. But I have really been loving this idea that I have. I just needed to get I needed to get the kit launched. I needed to get the membership launched. But now that I've done that, I can move on to the next product, which I'm hoping will be this vision book. And I thought it would be really fun just to have a place to make intentional, like little boards, you know. And people use vision boards for all different kinds of reasons. I'm not a person who puts things like jet planes and expensive jewelry. That's not anything I've ever put on mine. If you go on Pinterest and type in vision boards, actually mine that I've made in the past, and mine do pop up. So it's kind of fun to see. Some of the things that I've put on mine are like, I just love making them. They're just so fun and creative to do. So they can be inspiring to you, or they can just be like, this is just fun to make a collage. So, but they were something we did in the Harmony Retreat. We just made them on a very small scale in the little Harmony Handbook. So, hi, Kathleen. Kimberly says crafting can be seen as therapy. Creativity assists in expressing our thoughts and vision in different ways. It's like giving another way for your feelings to be exposed and expressed. Very true. You know, there was a time where I thought it would be so fulfilling to be like an art therapist, you know, to help people do stuff like that. Hi, Miss Shelley. She says, I love my Harmony Handbook. Yeah, I want to get all that stuff up too. I have so many little projects to do for TRG in 2026, getting the back catalog of some of the projects I've done onto our platform. So I'm excited, and getting my website finally up. That's a big goal too, because that's just a shame that I have been around as long as I have, and I do not have a proper website. That's bonkers. That is bonkers. So, does everybody have a philosophy about goals or versus intentions or resolutions? How do you guys handle that? Do you have things that you're hoping to make happen for yourself in 2026? I am using the word intentions going forward because I like it better. I think it just it comports with reality, because I can set a goal all I want, and I feel like when I get into that mode, I become very driven. And I don't want to operate like that anymore. I don't want to be driven girl. So I need to ratchet that down. So I've been trying to do things that are more focused on like what brings me joy? What is a joyful thing I want to focus on and work on, because that's the stuff that's going to be things I want to continue doing and breathe life into. And I love very much. The other way of doing things, I feel like, comes out of this more cerebral decision making. And I feel like is the stuff that I have a hard time sticking with. So I don't know if it's, I've been influenced by some of the younger women that I have listened to that are more in the business realm. But I feel like a lot of the things that they say make sense when it comes to, you know, doing things from a place of, you know, that brings you joy, versus just like, you know, these are the things I should do. These are the things, and I'm talking about like business related, as far as projects go, is not just like, well, this is what the market or your niche wants. I need to do things that I want to do, because otherwise they will not continue getting made. And I think that I have proven that by my track record. I think that it just speaks for itself when you notice that, like, I'll launch something, but then I have a hard time keeping up with it. And that's because my heart's not in it. I just think this is great for everybody else. I'm going to make something for my friends. So I am going to continue making stuff, but focus on like me first, which sounds terrible. I don't even like the way that sounds, but I'm going to experiment this year and I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to do the me first about like what I create and see if it works, because maybe TRG will be different. Maybe it'll be different. Maybe I will actually, everything will look different. And you know what? The first experiment has already, I've done it successfully, was this. This was for me. I made an entire year. So I have it all up front. I didn't break it into seasons. It's a whole year's done. So we shall see. We shall see if there is truth to this. Julie says, I have learned over the years that goals create pressure. So I'm going to wake daily, praise God, breathe, and do my best every day. But I have to be more intentional with my health. Miss Shelley says, I make goals, and as I work through them, I set monthly intentions. Bethany says, I like to set intentions in winter, but spring is when I get motivated. Oh, that's interesting to treat those differently. And I can see why, because spring does feel like a season where you have more energy. Like there's more, I mean, even the way we focus on like spring cleaning, like that is like a holdover from, I'm sure, probably decades of that being. Isn't that interesting? I wonder where if we trace that back in our culture, where does that idea of spring and cleaning come from? Why that's so ingrained? Because obviously, you know, that is something that's marketed to us from a lot of companies that make cleaning products. But when you think about, this is the time, you know, in some parts of the country where people would have been snowed under, had bad weather, they couldn't clean the house. So that's the weather changed. Women could finally get the windows open. They could let the house breathe. I'm thinking this probably went back to a time where like we didn't have as good of like air circulation in the house. You know, there wasn't some of the modern conveniences we had that actually made that really important for you to be able to open your house and clean. That reminds me, because what just popped into my head was the Laura Ingalls Wilder. When I said that, I wanted to share something. I'm not sure if it's up here though. I do not know. Okay, so do not hold this. Okay, I am not recommending this. I'm just sharing it because I haven't read it. I found this, where did I find this? How do I know about this book? It has a Half Price Books label on it, but I don't know how I got it. I don't remember if that's where I bought it or not. Maybe it is. It's called Caroline, Little House Revisited. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. I just thought the concept of it sounded so cool. So it's the Little House story, but it's told this time from Caroline's perspective, the mom, instead of Laura. And I thought that would be kind of neat to kind of go back through the story and have it told from Caroline's position, because in the book, she's sort of like, she's kind of a secondary figure. You know, Laura's telling it from her little kid perspective. And what would Caroline have talked about when she's the one who's left alone with the children when Pa goes out and, you know, he leaves the house for long periods of time to go do the things he needs to go do. I can't remember. I read through the entire series one summer. So I just thought this was a really neat concept. It says USA Today bestseller. So I know a lot of us were the Little House series was very beloved. So I thought I would just share that in case anyone was interested in checking that out from the library or getting a used copy like I did, or wanted to check it out. But like, I think it goes back to this, like, to just the eras of spring being the first time that women could get their house clean after all those muddy boots in their house. All those dirty kids, get out. Yay. Kathleen's into it. She says, "Oh, I'm excited to read Caroline." So yeah, I thought that was just really cool. I think I could be wrong. I don't know much about the book world. So I feel like I have seen this before where there's kind of a trend of some books being this kind of like revisited idea where they'll take a classic book and sort of like retell it in a different way like this. So I don't know. Miss Shelley K says, "My hope is to look at my goals and intentions from positive view instead of negative, as in I'm not going to work out because of body shame, but because I want to go show up for my future grandkids." That is an excellent way of looking at it. So just kind of reframing the why, your why of why you're doing it. Because you know what? I think that's kind of tricky for us too, is because our generation was like spent so much time being mean to ourselves about our bodies and all those kinds of things. You know, our generation and older, just like that's just how we were sort of spoken to through everything that we read and all the messaging around us. So yeah, it's really hard to break out of that mindset. So Shelley, that's a really good way of approaching it. I think that's very positive. Hi, Miss Penny. Georgia says, "My word of the year is consistency." Oh, you know what? I always look at that and that's not what I'm supposed to look at. I can't control that. Let me go back. And my plan is to be consistent in Bible reading and my health. I have been terrible in the past with finishing things I start. Terry says, "I'm hoping I can live long enough to do all the crafting I want to do. If I live to be 100, it will still not be long enough." Kathleen loves the idea of calling it intentions. There's something that is more relaxed and less shame attached to not getting it done. Agreed. I feel like I missed, someone else said something about their word. Maybe it's further down. Oh, Kathleen says her word for the year is thrive, and I'm ready to stop watching life go by. Exactly. Mark and I spend so much time working on stuff, but we have really poor work-life balance, really poor. So, and that's been very consistent for a long time. So that's another thing that getting out of this RV, I am hoping, is going to make a huge change, because until you live this way, you do not realize how tiny it makes, not just physically how tiny you're living, but it makes your life feel small. It does. It mentally starts to make it feel very small. Okay, Margie has given some feedback. So here's Margie's input, because she read Caroline. She says, "I got it on Kindle and thought I would love it because I love Little House so much." Same. I was disappointed and then didn't finish it. If I remember correctly, Caroline was very whiny and negative. How is that possible? That kind of blows my mind. Now, to be fair, this is a very interesting conversation now. This just got interesting. Because here's what's interesting about the idea of reframing characters in modern day is you're taking your modern day thought process and imposing it upon someone who lived in the pioneer days. And I'm sorry, no matter how hard we try, it would just be impossible for us to try to imagine being in that world. And none of us could do that. We can't imagine what that would be like. So right there, I feel like it's possible that if you're not careful, you can kind of impose yourself. You can impose yourself into certain things. So I kind of wonder, when people write historical books, how careful are they to not instill themselves, especially, and I'm saying this very carefully and respectfully because I did not read it, but how careful is someone when they write somebody to not impose their view of what they imagine it would be like when they live today and not then, like that. Do you feel a little need to correct things? Do you feel a little need, well, I'm going to give Caroline a spine. I'm going to make Caroline a little more relatable. Is that how it works? Because I totally thought the same thing, Margie. That's why I was so interested in it. I honestly cannot remember how I got it. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't remember buying it in the store. I don't remember buying it online. I don't remember how I came to acquire this. But I would have thought that it would be really fun, like I said. And now you're like, yeah, she was whiny. Which I don't want to read a whiny character, especially Caroline, because I really always thought so much of the parents in the book, for sure. So anyway, I really appreciate you giving some input on that. So let me see here. Hi, Linda Haskins. Oh, I keep forgetting to look at the right thing. My word is nourish my body, nourish my soul, nourish my home. Does anyone else want to share their word for the year? You notice that I'm not crafting tonight. I was going to craft, but you know what I will do while I'm sitting here? What I will do is I'm gonna cut up something while I'm sitting here. I'm going to I was going to do a 2-hour live stream with y'all, which is now 2 hours on the nose. I'm going to cut up one page. I want to see. I want to cut one image out of here. Oh, this is the page. I want to cut this girl out of here because I think she would be really fun to put on this girl right here. I love her so much. I bought all the images. I wanted to put her on the cover of my book. I just think she's so cool. I love how she's like faced away from the camera. I also love this girl right here, this lady. And I'm really, really happy. Mark and I did a lot of sleuthing and investigating and researching so that we could have inclusivity in our collection, which I'm really happy about because it's really hard to find images like that. So I have some really, like, this image is so crisp and crystal clear. She almost looks like an AI did it, but I promise you it did not. These images are from real publications. Some of them came from some sellers that I purchased them from, and then some of them Mark researched and found. I think he photoshopped some for some smoothness, and then some of them we deliberately left them like that kind of what is it called when they're kind of like grainy looking. This couple right here, I think they're cutting a wedding cake is what they're doing, but the cake is missing. So you can put something right there. You can put whatever you like, and it looks like they'll be cutting it. Terry says she'd be whiny if she lived then, right? Margie says I always loved Caroline too. She always inspired me in how much she kept her mouth shut when she may not have completely agreed with Charles. Yeah, I try to. Like I honestly had more familiarity with the TV show than I did the books because I did not read all the books when I was a kid. I only read one of them. So I took the time to I bought the books and I read through them a whole summer, I think in 2020 or 2021. And I absolutely loved them. And I loved her. I loved her so much. So yeah, I would hate to see someone take away what was so sweet and kind about her and then make her be a little different. So I guess that is kind of a danger of reading a book. I never thought about it that way. I thought it would be like, oh, it's going to be so great. But I didn't think about what would happen if they turned the character into something that we couldn't agree on. So Shelley says, my word is ascend. Wow. That sounds like such a, what is the right word? It's such a dynamic word. It sounds like a power word. It's like just, it's not your average word of the year. I love that. Ascend. Let's see. Denise's word is delight. Janice says her word is joy. Did Chris pick a word? Oh, so I'm so sorry. I wish your YouTube name is SE Heindel. I'm hoping that I'm not sure if that's part of your first name and last name, but she says I still have the vision book from a while ago. I too became a widow in August after being a caregiver for 7 years, and I'm so sorry to hear that. See, 2025 was not a good year for so many people, and I am so sorry to hear that. I've so enjoyed your YouTube channel, and thank you for sticking with me so long. And your word is realign, which, yes, that sounds like a word that you, I guess, are having to embrace whether you like it or not. And Sheila, thank you. And that is very wonderful that you, I'm sure it was very difficult, but it was wonderful that you cared for, I'm assuming you cared for your husband that long. So it sounds like for some people, 2026 is going to have a lot of things to figure out and kind of approach very differently than your life has been. There's a lot of people in this chat room that really love praying for others. So I hope that they are making note of those who need that. Penny says your Papercraft stickers are fabulous. Oh, thank you, Penny. That's very sweet. I'm sorry. I had to scroll up to get up higher because there was things being said and I kind of missed some of the stuff here. So I'm catching up. Julie says her word is breathe. Sheila, I'm going to add you to my book. I don't want to forget that. This is my little book. When you come back and I see your little name in here, I will remember that you are in here and I can look it up without having to ask you. You also have the name of my auntie that my mom caregives. Ooh, Melanie said something here. She says Little House documentary gives insight into the facts that Charles was a man that struggles with unrest and business failures. So maybe they took a look at Caroline's struggles with that lifestyle. Melanie, that's entirely possible. Terry says she would be whiny if she had lived then. Chris says that he has not thought of one yet. He's leaning towards momentum as a word. Terry says that she found a book to craft in. She has many. Thanks for the reminder, because I was thinking I needed to get a book. That's why I wanted to make sure to tell you guys, don't get a book. Just grab one of those old notebooks floating around. It's like the cheaper, the better. You know why? Because then you won't feel like you're going to mess it up. This is the just the cheap notebook that you're not going to care. Just go into it saying, I don't care about you. You're like you're a stunt book. Okay. You guys remember just when you approached it with that whole mentality, you're just a stunt book. Then you won't like care about the mistake. There's no mistakes. You won't care about the things you do in it. And if you can break out of that mentality, I look forward to this. I can't wait to experience possibly the feeling of I just threw stuff on there to see what would happen because it's experimenting. Maybe I'll find combinations of things that I like. What I have discovered in the short time I have been trying to do these little experiments is I have discovered that I like certain stickers that I would never have let myself try. Ever, ever, ever. So that's been super fun, is just trying a different type of craft, something that is much, much, much more basic and like not, gorgeous and stuff I want to impress myself. It's like, no, just let your little inner kid just wee with all the stickers, just let them. And so get the cheap stickers, have the cheap stuff, the stuff that you don't care about, use that stuff. That's the stuff that you want to throw on there. Stuff you can buy like at Walmart, the cheap stuff that comes on a roll, stuff teachers pass out to kids for like doing good in class, that kind of stuff. So that you just like dot it around, sprinkle it around like confetti. Just practice with it. Try stuff with it. Terry approves of momentum and ascend. Rebecca says, I am thinking my word might be content. See, it could go either way, Rebecca. It could be content, which that would be a good word for me, or content. It's interesting. Our English language is so challenging. How are people supposed to grasp it? You know how many years it took us to learn how to speak it? Little House is just 2 hours away, and we as a family have visited many sites. Laura's stories are still wonderful because it is from a child's view. It is, Melanie. And it's funny that you say that because I actually thought of that when you shared that fact. I'm like, Melanie lives in Minnesota. Mark took me out there. We went to a location for the Little House, something on the Little House universe. I can't remember now what it was. We went to go visit some kind of historic landmark. And this trip that we took in the RV to get there, it was the endless single road highway forever. And then we got there and we were in some small town, and I wish I could remember what it was. I can't remember if it was a schoolhouse that we were there to see. And then I can't remember like how it was. It turns out that when we finally arrived at the destination, it wasn't as attached to Laura as I thought it was. It was more like a tertiary connection. After all this, I don't know, an hour and a half out of the way to get there, it wasn't even connected like I thought it was. I know what it was. We weren't in Minnesota. Okay, let me backtrack. It was not your good state that led us astray. It was the state of South Dakota. They have the most amazing visitor center. It is epic. It was one of the 2 epic visitor centers that we visited. And they have amazing handouts, and a lot of them were focused on Little House on the Prairie. But I did not know why, because my memory was that it had a Minnesota connection. But I also knew that I didn't know the whole story. So I was like, I don't know. Somewhere in there, they're connected. And they gave me this brochure, and they were talking about how this is Little House on the Prairie. So I did not investigate too much like I should have. And it turned out that I let Mark get me all the way there. And then we discovered that the connection was not as solid as it should have been. It was, I wish I could remember. It had more to do with the television show than the actual Laura Ingalls or like the real characters. The reason why I would have wanted to be there, it had to do with the television show, which was not the same thing. So I was led astray, and it was South Dakota's fault. That's all I gotta say. That was all I'm gonna say. Now, I saw a little snarky comment from Mrs. Spencer. Who says that Corey's word for 2026 is going to be newsletter. Yes. There you go. I am writing that down. That is my word for the year. And Michelle, you have so graciously helped me over the years with the newsletter project. You were so kind to do that. And it's when I take it over is when it all falls apart. So I'm sure you have tisked me over the years going, man, every time I hand something back to her, it just falls apart. Where's my newsletter this month, Corey? Yes. When you guys got consistent newsletters years ago, it was Michelle, okay? The jig is up, all right? I have been living a lie. Michelle kept me on the straight path, okay? And I take the reins back, and I'm just a hot mess. But she is right. Newsletter is going to be my word for the year. So there you go. Linda says she's going to be thinking over her word. And I did know it was coming, but now the truth is out. The truth is out, and I don't have to live in the shadows anymore. Now everybody knows. Chris says his 2026 is trying to learn MailChimp. Yeah, there's so many aspects to it. Chris, you understand, you get it. It's not just like write, send. There's other things going on. It's the platform. It's creating interesting content. It's the graphics. It's the having a system. It's like there's so many things that one little aspect of your life that you have to just nail. But yes, I'm having a Scarlett O'Hara moment. As God is my witness. 2026 will be the year of the newsletter. So this will be the rallying cry of the Reset Girl brand. Okay, this is it. I'm going to plant my little flag on this hill. And you have heard me cry this before. Okay, I know you have because you sweet girls have given me lots of encouragement and said very kind things about my newsletter, my sad little newsletter. But this, my friends, my little offering from my desk to you, that is the name of my newsletter, from my desk. Hi, Melinda. She says, Laura Ingle Wilder lived in Mansfield, Missouri. They had 2 houses and they are buried there as well. There is a museum you can go through and you can go into both of the houses. How cool is that? You guys make a note of that, because that would be a fun place to go. Mansfield, Missouri, to see the house, and Prince Edward Island to go see Anne of Green Gables. That'd be a fun road trip. We have Melanie. I don't think she's with us tonight, but Melanie lives on Prince Edward Island. She could get us in. True, Mrs. Spencer. Some people do need a project manager. It's true. Some people are just a hot little mess. Julie, you're so kind. See, I need to write that down, because that right there will be my little motivator. I'm going to put that in quotes, Julie. There were many days seeing your newsletter, this right here, in my inbox, made my whole day. There. I have quoted you. I'm going to put that on a proper vinyl label, no less. And I'm going to put that on my stinking laptop as a goad to prompt me. You guys, have you seen the meme of the Puss in Boots from Shrek? And he's got his little hat and his little sad eyes. Put that with it. There you go. This is what I'm going to do, Julie. Thank you very much. You've given me the fire. All right, so that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so the newsletter is on my agenda tomorrow. That's what I'll be doing on my New Year's Day, is working on my newsletters, because see how seriously I'm taking it, girls? Look, and Chris, look, I made freebies. I have them all ready to go. I just need the vehicle to go. And I've been working on it to make them as easy for me to go and send them, and like what I'm going to talk to. I've been having nice long conversations with ChatGPT about like, what can I talk about? How, and I don't want to be like, I don't want to be an influencer. I just want to talk about normal things that I would normally talk about. I like, what will make this like fun to tie into something. I don't want to pressure products. Like that's the problem, is how do I do things in this nice, fun, balanced way, and a way that doesn't make me personally feel like I'm bugging them. How can I do it so it feels like I'm texting somebody, or I came over to your house? Hi, do you want to come out and play? How do I get back to that feeling? So this has been a really fun psychological experiment, is just this newsletter situation, and like how to tackle this, because this has been such a thorn in my side for too long. So, but I'm doing it. It's going to happen, you guys. So yes, I shall do that, Miss Terry. I'm going to have a whole notebook for my newsletter, just that. And I have make notes when people give me a newsletter, like their email. I make notes all the time. What do I love about this newsletter? Why do I care about every time I see this person send it to me? I always open it, no matter how many. And then why is it this person's newsletter? I always like click them, and then delete them. I don't even open them, and eventually I'll unsubscribe. What's the difference? What are people doing in these things? So I've been trying to figure that out. Like, I have really put a lot of thought into this. And please know this, people in my situation who are like, entrepreneurs, they spend a lot of time on this newsletter thing. It is agony for people sometimes that have to do it themselves. The thought of sending newsletters, sending emails to people, they feel like they're bugging people. They feel like I don't know what to say to people. It's not just me, but it is. And I always bring this up, and then you guys are so sweet. Oh, I love your newsletter. So I'm not trying to get you guys to confirm anything. I'm just saying, I am. And Michelle, she is christened TRG has a word for the year. Okay. TRG's word for the year. It's a new thing. Well done, Michelle. TRG's word for the year. Newsletter. And Julie, you've given me, I'm quoting you. And one day when my newsletter wins awards, you're going to be my testimonial. And we'll all be like, remember when you could never send a newsletter? You just thought it was the hardest thing in the world to do. Okay. Be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. We are all friends. I know it's true. I do. I'm always trying to remind myself of that. Just talk to someone like they're your friend. You don't have to do it differently. And Agreed, Julie. Those are the ones that I love. I love people who are like, this is what I'm eating this month. This is what I'm listening to. This is what I'm doing. And I'm like, well, you know what? One of the things is I actually have to start doing some of these things for me to tell you about them. I don't think you guys are going to be impressed with, yeah, I just really sat there or sat around, did nothing. I ate nothing. I mean, if I sit here and I eat the same three things because that's what I'm down to now, how interesting is, is that going to be? So, my hope is that when I am out of this RV and I'm getting to live my new sparkly life in a apartment because it's bigger, that it's rooted to the ground and I have a neighborhood again. And like the wonder of all of that, being able to just be in something as simple as an apartment again, or a duplex. Mark really has his heart set on a duplex. Just be in a neighborhood again, to walk in and out of like a proper home again. the magic of that alone. Maybe I'll have a lot of things to share. You guys, look, I have a proper bathroom. Look, a proper flushing toilet. Look, you guys, I have 2 doors on my closet. Oh my gosh. Oh, maybe you'll laugh. It'll be a funny newsletter because she'll be like, "Yeah, Corey, we that's what everybody has," and I'll be like, "No, you don't understand what RV life has done to me. I have been living in Barbie's dream house for the last 10 years." So there you go. So back to basics. I just need you guys to join my newsletter coaching team. Just walk me through it. Just tell me what you want to say. What do you guys want to hear from me? I'll do it right now. Let's just work on this as a group project, okay? All right. Okay, my sweet friends. Thank you, Julie, for your encouragement. Thank you, Terry, for backing her up, and thank you, Michelle, for giving TRG an anchor word for the year. And my sweet friends, thank you so much for joining me in the back of my RV. We should appreciate and enjoy every one of these little live streams I do, because hopefully there will be a buyer in the future. Okay, let's all put our little wishing caps on for that. There will be a buyer who will want this model very badly, and that's what I'm going to start. That's what I'm going to start praying on. Is I definitely want that to happen. So yes. So we are going to be drawing to a close, and I will have a proper craft room again and a proper little filming space again. And it's going to be, I don't even know what to do with I won't even know what to do with myself. Who will I even be if I'm not sitting here at the back of my RV? So, thanks, Julie. So I love your little faces. I truly hope that all of us, as we ease into our new year, I really hope that we have a better year ahead of us. And if you are the praying type, I really encourage you to pray for our friend Kimberly and Sheila, who have both lost husbands this year and have a lot of new negotiating of their lives to do, a lot of new a new view of life without their honey that they have to do. And you can imagine how difficult that would be. So please keep them in your thoughts and in your hearts. And I look forward to seeing you on the other side of 2026. I will be getting up our new live stream schedule, and we update our Google Calendar, so you can always take a peek at that. But usually I have Mark put up brand new little live stream on little, what do you call those, live stream events on my YouTube channel. So you'll see those pop up. And I'm going to try and keep to my 2 live streams per month schedule. That is my hope. So I should see you shortly. 2 weeks from now. I think so. I think so. I think that's how it'll work. Which means if you're in the membership, that means I think that means that we'll be doing a late night crafty club and then a girlfriend gathering the very next day. I think that's how it will work out. If that makes sense. If you are in the Happy Place Club, I will have the clubhouse updated tomorrow with whatever I'm going to be freshening up. But if you are in the all access space, the cottage has been updated and you have access to your Crafty Girl play kit. And I hope that you enjoy snipping up all your stuff. I hope this is going to be a really fun project for all of us. This will be a really easy thing. Even if you don't buy my kit, this is a fun project. I have already explained it to you. It's super simple. So this will be an easy thing for you to bring to the Late Night Crafty Club. And we can sit here and snip and chat, the snip and chat. I need to rename the other newsletter now. Note to self. Rename the other newsletter. All right. And be sure to sign up for both newsletters because I will be sending out those freebies this weekend. I'm going to get my newsletter homework done. Okay. So anyway, I love you guys. Happy New Year. Mwah. It was wonderful to see so many of you show up. Have a wonderful night. I'll see you later, alligators. Bye, everybody. Mwah.